Tes, tes. Halo, oke.
Halo.
Oke, halo, udah kayaknya nih.
Yap.
Oke.
Langsung mulai aja, Mas.
Boleh, silakan.
Okay, hello guys. We are meet again here at the virtual reality session, actually in the 5th sessions of our video conference. So today we will learn about the continuing from the last session, which is we talk about the basic scripting. So well, until the end we will learn about Unity. So I hope you can stay tuned to this video conference, and if you feel you got left behind, you can access our, actually we are recording these sessions, so it's every our video conference we always record it. So you felt getting left behind, you can access our video conference, I mean the record versions in the creativecamp.gmail.org website under the virtual reality workshops options. So for today, we already have Mr. Adit here. So Mr. Adit, please, the time is yours.
Let's get started then. Okay, let me share my desktop first. Wait a minute. Okay. Welcome to we are continuing from the last session, which is in basic scripting introduction, and today we will learn about Google VR and creating your first apps with Unity. First thing first, again, if you are new to this session or this class, my name is Anjar Aditya Pratama. You can call me Adit. I am a Unity certified developer for Singapore 2017. I am also a lead VR developer right now at Sinta VR, and I am also a member of Indonesian Virtual Reality Association on research and development team. You can see my Facebook profile. You can find at Anjar Aditya Pratama, or you can email me at aditya.pratama2910@gmail.com, and you can see my LinkedIn profile in the below. All right, let's get started. Before we start this session, I should point something out about starting point, the software that we need, and then the skills that we require to do this session smoothly. So the first one is software. We need to install or already installed Unity, the latest version, or maybe you have already installed 2017, it is okay. And second one is Visual Studio. It is already available within Unity installation, and Android Studio and Android SDK for building the VR apps to our mobile phone, and Java JDK or Java Development Kit, and Google VR plugins or framework for Unity. And the skills that you need to have, or maybe it's good for you to have, is Unity interface and C#. But if you don't have any prior experience within Unity or C#, you can follow along, and we will talk about the basic of Unity and C# as well. So, just like yesterday's, Monday session, we have some topics to cover, and we have some duration. And for today, because we will heavily open the Unity or using the Unity software, the agenda will be kind of shorter than the last one. And we have already the topics in here, and the first one is VR and the Unity introduction, and then Google VR introduction, and the next one is VR development, which is it's being a part away with getting started, setting up Unity for VR, Google VR Unity integration, Java setup, Android SDK setup, create simple scene, for VR and build your VR apps to APK. So your game or your software can be installed within your Android smartphone. And the total duration is maybe around 90 minutes, but it is really depend on what will we do on the next time. Okay, this is our today's agenda, and maybe let's get back into Unity. Okay, let's reopen the Unity. So if you already install Unity Hub, you can just create the new project, and maybe we can create the project name Google VR apps, or yeah, whatever project name that you would like to name it. And Unity version in here, you can choose whatever you want. I'm using 2018.2.10 final one. And the location of the project, you can specify it as well in here. I just let it become default to C user, and the template we use is 3D because we will create a VR application. After that, we can create a project with a button in it. Let's wait until the Unity finish creating our project. And I want to notify again to you guys, if you have any question within our session in here, you can chat me or in the chat box, and I can help you to some quick question, answering some quick questions. Okay. It takes some little bit of time, so maybe I need to take some my water first.
Yes.
Okay, Unity is loading up again, and just like our last session, we already talked about Unity interface, and maybe you guys still remember about the Unity interface. And let's talk about our outline today. First, VR and Unity. I think you guys maybe already knew about VR and Unity, but I think some of you maybe still doesn't know, or maybe doesn't still yet understand about VR and Unity and their correlationship. So VR is a technology that maybe we can talk about in here. Internet is always a really good stuff and a really good teacher to learn about every stuff that already in our world. So according to Wikipedia, virtual reality is an interactive computer-generated experience taking place within a simulated environment that incorporates mainly auditory and visual, but also other types of sensory feedback like haptics. Basically, VR is just like your normal stuff application, like maybe you already play some games, or maybe you already have some apps like Photoshop or something like that. And virtual reality is just like a media that you can dive into the what can I say, the virtual environment itself. So it's like you entering the computer simulation. If you guys already maybe watch some maybe science fiction movie or maybe animation from Japan, virtual reality is something like that. And why Unity? Unity is one of the software from right now we have the technology that we have for creating a virtual reality application. So if we want to create a virtual reality, Unity is one of the many software that we can use to develop that one. And then let's talk about Google VR. So VR is just like media, right? And the media is really broad. If maybe 10 or 12 years ago we only have one PC computer that big, and From start maybe 10 years ago, we have a laptop and maybe some smartphone around here. So the media of the virtual computing is really, really broad right now. It's not only we have a PC or personal computer, we have smartphone, we have tablet, we have many, many media that we can develop VR on. And Google VR is one of them. Google VR is like a VR platform developed by Google for us to experience the VR within the Google Android environment. So we can have the VR experience within our smartphone in our pocket. Something like that. And let's get started about VR development. For VR, Google already have Google VR SDK that we can use for developing a VR. You can check on the developers.google.com/VR, as you can see in the screen. Now, it's actually really explain much about VR in this website. You can see build your virtual world. We have some like Google slide, and when we put it on just like a new world, you can see a whole new world that you cannot experience it within the real world. Just like in this one, we have some space, maybe some car experience within the screen itself, and we can really immerse to it. And Google VR actually supporting some of the platform or technologies. The one of them is, which is of course the Android itself, Unity, Unreal, and iOS. Since we will develop VR within the Unity software, we can press the Get Started on the Unity section, which will bring us to quick start for Google VR SDK for Unity with Android. So first thing first, we need to set up our development environment. The hardware that we require is for Daydream. You need a Daydream ready phone and Daydream View. And for the cardboard, we need to have an Android device running Android KitKat 4.04 or higher and a cardboard viewer. So what is this again? Daydream or cardboard? So in Google VR, Google have two main we can say HMD or hardware, which is the latest is Daydream, and the second one is cardboard, the cheaper one. The difference is, as you can see, Google Daydream is like you can say it's goggles that already been made by Google, and it is already a virtual reality platform developed by Google on the latest one. And then the cardboard is like for the maybe a cheaper version of the Google Daydream itself. You can see in here, it's just the same, Google Cardboard and Google Daydream. And the Google Cardboard is actually just like a piece of cardboard with two lenses that we can see through the virtual reality experience itself. Today's lesson, we will use the Google VR Cardboard because Google Cardboard is supporting many smartphones in the market. The difference for the Google, where is the Daydream? Google Daydream only supporting some of high-end smartphones. So for our growth requirements, yeah, we will develop on the cardboard itself. If you are curious, this is the Daydream ready phones. It's just like you can see Google Galaxy Note 8, Moto Z2 Force, Google Pixel, ZTE Exxon, Moto Z Motorola, and Moto Z Force, and Motorola. Mate 9 Force Design Mate, which is it is really high-end smartphone, and I'm afraid we cannot target this Google Daydream, and we will try to develop focusedly on Google Cardboard since maybe 90% of the current smartphone already support this Google Cardboard. Okay. Yeah. And for software requirements, we have to install the Unity. Google said the recommended version is version 2017.4 or newer. or the minimum version of Unity is Unity 5.6. And make sure that the Android build support component is selected during installation. Something like this. Okay. First one, for the software requirement, we need to download the Google VR SDK for Unity. Google VR SDK for Unity is just like a piece of software that helps us to create a virtual reality using Google VR without any hassle coding behind it. So we can download the latest Google VR for Unity from the release page. We can see. Okay, you can see the link is github.com/GoogleVR, GVR, Unity SDK/release. And you can see we have for download and Google VR for Unity 1.170 is the current version of Google VR. You can click on it to download, and because for our convenience, I already download this piece of code, which is this one, Google VR for Unity, and we can use it as just like any other script in Unity. So we just already done it, and we can press back, and you can see the SDK includes the following screen scenes for Daydream and Cardboard. And the next one is we create a new Unity project and import the Google VR Unity package. As we already create a new project, and to import the Google VR Unity package, we select Asset, Import Package, Custom Package. Just like that, we will follow the tutorial and we import package and custom package. As you can see, where's my Unity? Oops. My Unity is kind of freezing, you know. Please wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it's waiting a little bit longer than I supposed. And we can locate the our downloaded version of Google VR for Unity. As you can see, this one is my Google VR for Unity package. You can just double click or open, and Unity will decompress the package and preparing us the Google VR for Unity script. And after that, you can see the little window in here, showing us that this Unity package containing this kind of script. As you can see, this is the script that Google provide for us to make us develop VR more easily. After that, you just can press the import button. And Unity importing some small asset from Google VR, and as we can wait, if you guys have some question or have some suggestion, maybe my voice is too loud or too quiet, you can talk to me to chat box. Okay, please feel free. All right, it's already done, and you can see in our project we have Google VR folder, and as you can see, there is a lot of folder, a lot of scenes that Google is already provide us to developing VR with using Google VR. And you can come back again to developer page as we already importing the package. The next one is we configure build setting and player setting. So the first things that if you open the first project in Unity, you can see in the file and build settings in here, or the hotkey is Ctrl+Shift+V, and you can see our target for application build is PC, Mac, and Linux. As we use Google VR, which is a mobile Android smartphone target, we need to open or to switch our platform to Android. So just like in the page of the developers.google.com, select Android and click switch platform. And we will do that. Press Android and switch platform. If you guys have some difference in UI like this, for example, I will show you why or how. Maybe I want to open some project, or maybe create project. Test. Actually, Unity is currently loading your project to convert the project from PC version to Android version, and it maybe takes some time. And if you don't see this kind of option in your Unity, for example, something like only no Android platform found or something like that, it means you don't already have Android module in Unity, within Unity. So it's already done. As you can see, an Android, you can see the Unity logo on it. It means that our project is now configured for Unity for Android platform builds. For you guys, when you see build settings and Android, you see no Android modules loaded. You just need to open download page, and your browser might open some link, and you need to download that link. My Firefox is updating. Okay. And then, as you can see, this will open a download dialog. Unity setup, Android support for editor, your Unity version in here, and you just need to save or download this file and install it within your Unity. If you have some UI like this, it only means that you didn't install Android module when you install the Unity that you use today. Okay, let's get back. And the next one. In Build Settings window, click Player Settings. In File, Build Settings. In Build Settings, click the Player Settings. You will see Inspector will be changed. I'm sorry, I will move it. We are safe. And as you can see, there will be player settings on it, and then configure the following player settings like this. The first one is we need to checklist or enable the virtual reality supported menu on the player settings. And you can see in 2018 in player settings, other settings, and virtual reality supported. Because I using the newest version of Unity, in other settings, in here, it's not there, the settings of virtual reality. It says virtual reality move to XR setting. And if you click it, this will open the XR settings, which is X means like extra or multiple, like AR, VR, and maybe mixed reality on it. And you can check the virtual reality supported radio button, I'm sorry. And the menu will expand like this, and you can see on player settings, click plus and select Daydream or Cardboard. We can click a plus button in here, and you can see there is some of the VR platform that Unity support, and because we will develop Cardboard application, we only just add some Cardboard. And when you're done, there is a Cardboard list on it, and it's finished. And for Daydream, it says click plus and disable support or required positional head tracking. Since we don't use Daydream, we can skip this one. And player settings, other settings, and minimum API level. We can see, like in player settings, other settings, we can see below the minimum API setting. We need to set the version of Android to 4.4 or KitKat API level 19 or higher. We can see in here the minimum. We need to check it to Android 4.4 KitKat API level 19. For you who maybe don't really into the Android version, maybe you only understand about, oh, this phone is KitKat, this phone is Marshmallow, this phone is Nougat or Oreo. That is just a name or nickname Google provide for Android version, as this VR application requires us to have at least version KitKat on our Android. The naming schema of Google Android is quite easy actually. It's just using the dessert name and in alphabetical order. So the first Android is Alpha and Beta, and the second one is Cupcakes. The third one is Cupcake. The next one is Donut, Eclairs, Froyo, Gingerbread, Honeycomb, Ice Cream Sandwich. Maybe if you you like that kind of retro one, maybe you already see some ice cream sandwich Android version. The next one is Jelly Bean, K for KitKat, this one, and then the after KitKat is of course L for Lollipop, M for Marshmallow, N for Nougat, and O for Oreo. The latest one is Android P for Android Pie. So for the virtual reality, the Android that we need to use is KitKat. And we can come back again, and you can see the next one or the last one that we need to setting up is package name in other settings. In other setting as well, we can see this package name. Package name is just like your application address, so that you need to be in that you need to define for your application to identify your application within your phone. So the schema is like this: only the com for the company, dot your company name and your product name. This need to be defined, otherwise your phone cannot install this kind your software or your VR application. So for this session, maybe you can set your company, maybe your school name, or maybe your or software developer team name. Maybe you have like VR team 1 or something like that, or my glorious VR team or something like that. And you can set your product name for your product or software name. It's just like maybe you have some Facebook application. Your product name is Facebook. Your Twitter is a product name. Instagram or something like that. Every game, or maybe Flappy Birds, Angry Birds, or any game that you maybe already installed, the game name is a product name. So this one is free for you to choose. Maybe I want to type in some like my first VR apps, just like that, and we're done. That is just some simple setup before we can play our VR for the first time. And after that, to making sure everything is already saved within Unity, you can press File and Save Project. Okay, the next one is like review the demo scenes in Unity. So we get some action right now. In the Unity project window, go to Assets, Google VR Demos and Scene. As you can see, if we already install the Google VR, we have Google VR folder, and within that we have some demos folder and scenes folder. So something like that. We have 4 scenes in the Google VR demos, and we want to open one of it, which is Hello VR. You can double click on it. As you can see, the Unity view within our application or within our Unity is changed. You can see the message will appear here at runtime, blah blah blah. This is a scene or demo scene that Google provide for us to explore the Google VR plugins. So you can press the scene and you can see what kind of scene that Google provide us to work with. Or we can say the demo that we can play with. As you can see, this is quite the big screen or the colorful scene. I will maximize it for you guys. Oh. So this is the demo scene that Google give it to us. Really, it's just like a cube room that have some blue and what is this? Purple, magenta? I don't know. Yeah, just like blue and yeah, something purplish. And we can move something like that within Unity. Oh, I'm sorry if you don't know what I'm doing. I just using my right mouse button in here and click, and you can move around just like you playing first-person shooter like Counter-Strike or something like that, using WASD. And you can move something like that, and you can drag your mouse to look around in Unity scenes. Okay, let's back to it. You can see after we open the scenes, we can press play in Unity to see what kind of game that Google gives us to play with. And as we can press, actually Google have some documentation that give us some tutorial. You can say that if we want to move our head, we can use Alt button plus move mouse. Tilt your view using control, and cardboard input is using click anywhere within a game scene. As you can see, our game is already in playing. We can maximize it. And you can see when I press Alt, it's moving in our game view. This is just like in a VR application, in a real application. If a user tilting or moving his head left and right, he will see just something like this. And if the player using his he tilting his head, you can see the move is something like this. Control and moving your head. I kind of a little bit dizzy looking at this. And you can press the click button on mouse just like this. What happened if I click the mouse? Oh, it's disappear. Oh, actually it's disappear, and other buttons or other object in the scene is showing up. And if you click, oh, it's moving again. Click, oh, moving again, and click. We move it again. Yeah, it's just a simple scene within the Google VR example. And you can see this one is the demo that Google provide us within the Unity. We can uncheck and play. And the next one is prepare your device. So this software or this piece of scene, or you can say a code in Unity, is targeted for your Android smartphone. So if you have some like your mobile phone maybe laying around right now, you can actually install the application within your smartphone. And how to do that is like this. Prepare your device. The first one, you need to prepare your supported device and enable developers option and USB debugging. I have my phone right here right now. It's already installed. And if you don't understand about enable developers option or USB debugging, you can, again, every smartphone or Android smartphone is a little bit different. But if you have some smartphone like this, here I have Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 AI, I think. To enable the developer option, you can open the settings menu on the smartphone, and you can maybe I will show you in the webcam, but I'm not quite sure if you see it or not. So you can just go back and it's in the about phone, and you can press the Android versions many times. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not. The MIUI version. If you press it so much, maybe 10 times, you will see the developer's mode is already on. And if you go back again and go to the additional settings in Xiaomi, you can see developer option is showing up, and you can press the developer option in here. I'm not sure if you can see, but if you want to see the more details, you can just Google it up, like maybe your smartphone manufacturer, maybe you have some like Samsung. You just need a Samsung enable developer mode. As you can see in internet, you can show up like this. This will have some detailed step by step to enable your developer mode in your smartphone. If you have maybe another manufacturer, maybe Nokia enable developer mode, or maybe you have maybe OnePlus or Vivo or Oppo, maybe you can just see by yourself within Google. Okay, let's get back to it. And then after that, we will build and run the demo scenes on your device. So connect your smartphone using USB cable. Just like if you see, I already plug in my smartphone with my computer on it, and select File, Build, and Run. Just like this, File, Build, and Run in here. Sorry, just a moment. If you build and run, the window will show up like this, and it asks you to which folder that you want to the APK files needs to be deployed on. You maybe just create a new folder, and you may just type some build, create a folder build, and you can see or set your name like first apps or VR apps. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, maybe we have some question, but your voice is a little bit small. I don't hear it. Okay, we will just continue as we can see. And first VR apps, and we can press save. If you see something like this, Java Development Kit JDK not found, do you want to use this JDK directory? You should say yes. But if you see something like you don't have your JDK directory, you can set your JDK or Java Development Kit using edit, preferences, and external tools. This one, we need some Android software again to build your project to become an APK files or software or installed software for Android phone. You need the SDK and JDK. The SDK, you can see the button like this. If you already have your SDK in your PC, you can just press browse, and you can set your target location for your Android SDK. But if you don't have any, you can press download, and you can see this one will redirect us to the developerandroid.com/studio, and you can download Android Studio on it. Since I already have something like the Android SDK, the directory is something like this. So I already installed my SDK's directory is on app data local Android SDK, and I can just select the folder, and the JDK is as well just like that. If you don't have any, you can press download button, and when you press the download button, you will get redirected to oracle.com, and you can just swipe over somewhere in below, you can see Java SA Development Kit AQ1 AQ1. You can press accept license on it and press and download within your list based on your operating system. If you use Mac OS, you can download it on here, or if you use Windows 32 bits or 64 bit, you can download this one. Or maybe installed one. I don't know, where is this? Oh, it's this one. This one. I'm sorry, it's not this one. It's demo and samples videos. The correct one is this, Java Development Kit version 8. And you just accept and just download your JDK. After you install it, you can press browse, and just like this, the directory is something like this. I already installed it on C, program files, Java JDK 1.8. And only you can just press select folder on it and finish. And after that, you can go back again to the file, build and run, and Unity is working to create the APK files for your first software. Okay, while we wait, we have some question from Natsal Juan Gautama. What is the function of SDK and GDK? So the SDK and GDK, I think you mean is Android SDK. SDK is actually just the acronym for Software Development Kit. It's just like if SDK or GDK is just like a software that the application is based on. So if you want to create an Android application, you need that Android SDK and GDK. So if you ask about what is the function of SDK and GDK, it's just that, it's just the software, the base software that we need to create our project to APK files. And APK files is just like .exe files in your software or on your PC, but for your Android smartphone. If you have some APK files, you can press on your Android smartphone and you can install that application. APK is just like application package or installer version or installer apps, I'm sorry. So the SDK function within our scope of session is for helping us to create APK files for our JDK is the same. I hope that answers your question, Nathanael Juan Gautama. And as you can see, your application is being deployed within Unity. Oh, if you have some trouble when you build and run is something like this, for example, and when you press build and run, wait a little bit, build and run. Yeah, we will wait a little bit of time until the Unity finish package or create APK files for our phone to install. You can ask some other question in the chat box. I always forgot about installing the. Ah, okay. If you have some trouble, if the window when we create an application is finished and you don't see your application being installed in your phone, you can actually see what is the problem. You can see if the application is not there, or if application is there but it's not showing this scene, this blue and purple scene. You can see in the file and build settings, and you need to add your current scenes to the build version on it. So we need to press add open scene, and as you can see, Unity is collecting or maybe including the Hello VR scenes, and it is ready for us to build. And we just press save again and run. And if you see, I already installed. If you should see some notification on your phone asking you to allow your installation, you just need to press OK or install. And as you can see in your phone, right now is the VR show up with it. If you see, it's just like a goggles or goggles, you can say, for you to see the virtual world within your smartphone. And to use the application, you need some Google VR cardboard. And to your convenience, or for your convenience, if you don't have some Google cardboard, you can buy it online from your maybe favorite marketplace. Maybe if you are in maybe already have some experience buying from maybe Amazon or something like that, you can buy from it. If you're a local, maybe you can search, or maybe you can find the Google Cardboard within your favorite local marketplace. Maybe in Indonesia, you can find it from Bukalapak, Tokopedia, or something like that. And the cardboard is really pretty cheap. If you can see, you can maybe just like Google Cardboard buy, and you can see in the Amazon maybe or something like that. You can see, for example, there is a lot of version of Google Cardboard, but the function is still the same. As you can see, the cheapest one is only takes about 1 to 21,000 rupiah, or just around $1 to $2 to US dollar, and you can actually pretty conveniently buy this one. And if you don't have some access to maybe buy it online, you can buy it offline on some maybe mall, something like that. Yeah, you can see. And to use the application, you can see you only just put the smartphone to your cardboard. Okay, so this is the basic idea and basic pipeline how to create and develop your VR application within Unity and using Google Cardboard. So we have some other 1 hour to go, and let's talk about create a simple scene for VR, our simple scene. And let's get back into Unity. And as you can see, we need to open again the scene folder on assets, Google VR, demos, and scenes, and open the Google VR scene. As you can see, we have some game objects in our hierarchy, and you need to familiarize yourself to the Google VR game object or prefabs that we need to use to develop a Google VR application. Maybe just like a crash meet, or maybe just take a slide view on hierarchy. You can see we have GVR. GVR means Google VR, GVR event system. And you can see GVR event system is just only a game object that have some component, and the component is containing event system and GVR point input module. You don't need to understand what is event system, what is GVR pointer event input module for now, and we just only take a little bit of moment to what you can say, yeah, explore this scene. After that, we have a GVR headset, which we have only GVR headset custom component placed on it. We have GVR controller main, which is, as you can see, like something like this, hold shift to use the mouse as the main controller, blah, blah, blah. And GVR editor emulator, GVR instant preview main, demo scenes manager, demo input manager, cube room, and so on. As you can see, we have a little bit, maybe a little bit more game object compared to our last session, because it is just like demo scene that Google provide for us. And if you want to dissect or maybe explore the scene, you can just press disable and enable the button to see which is which. But mostly it's just a complete empty game object. So if I press it up like this, nothing actually different besides the game object right now is inactive, or as you can see, it's like gray out a little bit. And you can go on and on disabling this stuff until you find the experience or the UI that changed. As you can see, when we press enable and disable, this one is missing. So this game object is containing the UI that Google provide us, which, as you can see, demo input manager have some child named message canvas, and on it there is a black image background and the message text, and maybe you can press blah blah blah. And we have already cube room. As the name suggested, if we disable the cube room, you can see the cube room is gone right now, because this game object is like cube room is just like the 3D parts of our projects. As you can see, cube room right now, if I disable this up, the room is gone. And actually only one game object on it that has some responsibility to render this cube, which is this. You can see. So let's just activate all of the game object for now. And Let's talk about it one by one. The GVR event system is just like it's just like some software or piece of code, you can say, that handle about our inputs. So if you press the play again, and if you disable this GVR event system, you can see if we have this one activated or enabled. If we click, something is happening, right? Our input, which is mouse button, is get listened. Unity is listening for our input, just like that, just like that. But if we disable it, if we click on it, it's do nothing, because our function to respond the UI is disabled. So if we get back to it and press enable it again, and you can press it again, our functionality is coming back again. For now, that is the things that you need to learn about. The GVR event system is like a system to listening for the input module within our apps. The next one is GVR headsets. This one is actually, you need to open the script. If you have some curiosity and if you want to open the script, you can double click on it or press the gear button on it and edit script, and Unity will open the script for you. I want to take some sip of water first. Sorry. And as you can see here, we have GVR headset and some other script that showing up something like this. And actually, this is just another piece of code that need to be alive within our script. And the function is just like maintaining the headset itself. So if we disable it and we run the software, our Unity project software, the functionality of the headsets will be gone. So if because we open these things or the scenes within our editor, the effect is not happening, or maybe it's not that because we open it within our editor. It's not our headset. And the next one is controller input. It's actually disabled for now, and we don't need to talk about it right now. And editor emulator is only useful for us to emulate this VR experience within our editor or Unity editor. And demo scene manager is just like a custom script that provided by Google to us to make this demo scene is running. And if you maybe open a little bit of that, you can see the piece of script is the first one is just like a comment that you can ignore for now, and you can just see like this. The script is actually just a simple one. If, just like we learned about in our previous session, if get input.get key code.escape is just like if our player is pressing a back button on it. In Android phone, you have actually 3 buttons, right? The home button, back button, and menu button. And this one is telling us, or telling the program, that if a user pressing a back button, what should it do? And in this example, it will exit the application, something like that. It's just a simple things to have. And if you see, I want to open the project in it, or open my application. As you can see, this is our apps that we built last times. And if I press back button, I'm sorry, this phone is not have any button but only swipe button, but it is a back button. If we press a back button, so it come back or exit the application. It's actually execute this line of code. So if we press a back button, we quit the application. And we can go back again. And the things that you need to know about that, the VR sheet on the Hello VR is, I think, just something like that for the script parts. But for the rendering or just like visual things that you want to know about is from below the demo inputs manager. The cube room, obviously, as we can just like I already said previously, the cube room is just this room. If you disable it, the room is gone. The game showing nothing, only the button. And if we can press another maybe what can it say, the ball or maybe the stone. I don't know what kind of this demo Google name it on, but let's say it's a stone or maybe a diamond, and we still can find the stone or the diamond, but our room is gone. But if we enable it again, as you can see, we see again the cube room. So the cube room in it is containing the 3D model for this cube room. And then the next one is point light. In Unity, or in it's actually in any game engine, 3D game engine right now that's in the market, including the Unity, there is a component, special component called light. So the light is just like in the real world. We have light, you have a lamp, you have a screen on your smartphone that emitting a light. In Unity is also we have some light as well, and one of them is point light. And if you want to see the point light, is you can double press on it, and you can see point light is just like light source, like your light bulb, or just like your light bulb emitting the lights anywhere on 360 on every angle possible. So if you see, if I disable the light is gone. But as you can see, can back press on it, we have another type of light beside the point light. If you see the point light, we can press along now. You can see if we press the point light, the scene view show up some circle or spherical like this. It's help us to visualize the light that coming from the center of it, emitting from around the room, the cube room, you can say. And if we just like for example, I will create a simple 3D object, for example a cube, and you can see this is my cube. It is quite dark for now because there is no light emitting or hitting it. So maybe I just make this cube a little bit bigger using scale tools. You can find it at scale tools in here, or you can press the shortcut R to activating it. And for example, to create a light, we can press right click on it on the hierarchy, or you can press it on the component rendering, or I'm sorry, this one is it's already replaced on it, light, and we have several light on it. We have directional light, point light, spot light, area light, reflection probe, and light probe group. We will focus on the first, which is directional light, point light, spot light, and area light. The first light that we need to cover is directional light. Directional light is just like our sun. It gives us light from some direction. So as you can see, if I focus the directional light, and you can see in the scene view, you can see the sorry, I misclick. As you can see, there is a line. You can see the yellow. It's really thin. I'm not sure if you can see, but there is a line going through some angle from it. So it's just help us to visualize that this light source is emitting the light to this angle. So if you rotate this light using the rotate tools, you can rotate it on somewhere else. The light coming to is moved, or you can see if the let's reset the rotation to 0, 0, 0. So our light is emitting this way, and if we change the rotation toward x-axis to 90 degrees, you can see the light is moving or change. This is just like in our real world from the sunlight that we have. The next light source is point light. Point light is just like this. Some light that emit the light that have a source in the single middle source of a sphere. You can see my point light have some circle or have some sphere area, you can see, and this is the area that this is the area that the light is coming from in to out. And if I move my light to, for example, get more down and down, you can see the first one, our cube or our object is not receiving any light and it's dark. And if I move this light more and more and touching the sphere, as you can see, there is a change of the color. As you can see, and if we move it more, you can see the light is become more apparent. See? This is just like the name suggests, a point light, the light source that come from a point on it. And you can change the parameter or the properties of this light using the inspector. If we select the point light, you can see the range is 10, and if we change it, for example 2, it's become small. And if we come back to 10, it's more big. And if I change to 100, it gives this light is a bigger diameter. And let's get back to 10 again. And we can also change its color. Maybe this one is white, the color of this light is white, and maybe if you want to have some sunset light or something like that, you can change the color by pressing color and change the color palette. Maybe it's around orange or yellowish color, and you can press to color. And as you can see in scene, our light is changed. The color of our light is changed to yellow. And we can play this color as we want, as you wish. The color can be changed as you wish, and if you want to have some hexadecimal color, you can select it on it, or you can see if you want to maybe want the precise color, you can see maybe like what sky, blue sky color, maybe blue sky color hex code. You search on the Google actually, and Google sees some hex color that you can use. For example, deep blue sky. The hex color is 00BFFF. You can copy it and go back to Unity and click color and paste your code in it. You can paste, and as you can see, the color is become blue. And this is applicable to other lights as well. The next color or the next light, I'm sorry, is a spotlight. A spotlight is just like you can see the shape is different. The difference is just the color of the shape of the light, I'm sorry. So the spotlight is just like your ordinary street lamp, for example. So the shape is just like this, the cone. So if you can see, we don't the light is not touching the 3D, but if I move it more and more, you can see the color of the or the light is touching the ground. And just like the point or just like the point light, you can set the range on it to make it more long or short. And the spot angle, you can set it out as well, as you can see in here. And the color, of course, we can change it as well to be more bluish. And then the intensity of the power of the light, we can set it up in here. So if you want more strong light, you can change it to 5, for example, and you can see the light is more apparent on this one. And if you want to slide more, you can click the intensity on any properties of the light, and you can click and you can just swipe your mouse right and left to get your desired settings. Okay. And actually the next one is area lights, which is we don't really need to have for now because it's more like you can see your light is within the area, and this is only a baked only light, so it's like more advanced topic which we will not cover for this session right now. And that is some crash course for the light. And we can come back to our cube room, and the next one is tracer. Oh, okay. The tracer is what Google VR called this this circle is. So we have icosahedron, trisphere, and squat sphere. And just you can see, Google already disabled these two and enabled one of them, which is only this one is showing up for now. And if I enable it one by one, you can see there is 3 types of tracer that Google provide us to, which is a quad sphere, trisphere, and icosahedron. And this one have some object controller script on it, and they also have audio search on it. And maybe let's take a little bit glimpse of object controller.
Kita nggak ngikutin orangnya. Recordingnya kok malah kok sekarang.
Okay. Just like the other script, we have some script on it from Google, and you can see the script is a little bit long for maybe we to read one by one from start to finish. But I want to just explain, or maybe I just want you to realize that this object have some scripts on it, and the event trigger is as well. So after the tracer, treasure itself, and we have a player or ourselves. And actually, the player is only consisting about a main camera and GVR pointer 0 and 1. And what is this? A player is just like simple game object with no component at all beside transform, of course. And on it we have main camera, which is this one. That is what makes us see the VR content itself. So if we see the camera component, you can see we have a target eye, which is both, and it is just like this camera is have some responsible to draw to view for our VR. So if we open the application again, you can see in here we have two we have two lenses, the left one and the right one. So in here, in target eyes, we kind of set it up as both. So this camera is rendering the left one and the right one. So the camera component have a responsible to render or draw these two pieces of lenses for us to see for in our VR application. And in main camera, we have some other component that for now, flare layer and GUI layer is not that important because we don't use them for VR. Audio listener is just like if we want our game to have or our VR to have some audio, we need audio listener component to actually hear or actually play the audio for our player. And the last one is GVR, pointer physics racecaster. The use of the script GVR pointer physics is for pointing the treasure within our games. As maybe you can already see previously, if we press a play, if we somewhat touch the treasure, we can see this one is moving or change. And that one is the use of GVR pointer physics racecaster. And the last one that I want to cover about this demo is GVR pointer controller that contain the functionality for our controller. But this one is actually just like, if you can focus on it, and you can see in the middle, we have some controller that you can see in it. So if you see, if I disable this one, the controller is gone. And the controller is actually for Google Daydream. So we don't really have this, we don't need that kind of functionality as we want to develop. This one is for Google Cardboard. So that is some like crash course for first impression of what kind of component that Hello VR scenes is having. Some of it, but for us to creating a new or our own scene, maybe we want to have some new scenes. This is how to do it. So as we see, the demo input manager is for this demo scene. So we don't need this component in our custom scenes. And cube room is as well. The cube room is just environment for this scene. If you want to maybe create like school environment or maybe street environment, we don't need this cube room because this is only be useful for this current scene. And point light is like that as well, and tracer is like that as well. So the things that we need is GVR event system, GVR headset, GVR controller main, GVR editor emulator, GVR instant preview main, and player. So just like that, we select all of it using click and shift click to the player. So we have all of them is selected and we press copy on it. And we want to create our own scene. To create the scene, we just need to right click and create scene. And we can press or we can rename it as we want, like my first VR scene. And to open our scene, just double click on it. And if the Unity's tell us or inform us about scene has been modified, you just have to press don't save, as we don't want any change that we made to be saved on the Google VR scene demo. And this is our first VR scenes. To identify what scene that it's currently active that in our Unity, you can see in the hierarchy on top of it, my first VR scene. And you can see as well on the top of your windows, my first VR scenes. And in Unity, the scenes is the default scene object is only a main camera and directional light. So we want to replace all of it, so we click on two of it and delete it using delete button, or you can right click and delete in here. And we want to paste the component that we have from the other scenes. Right click on it and paste. As you can see, we have this similar stuff that we have. And we have some controller like that as well, because we copy all of that like this. And if we want to create scenes like that, or if you want to create our custom scenes, we can just start from like this. Because if you see, if we press a play, we on the game scene right now. But because we don't have any 3D or any stuff that can be rendered on the Unity, or Unity only show the blue background, something like this. So, for example, we want to create some simple cube on it for us to be seen, and we can move it maybe a little bit forward. As you can see, we see the cube. So from now, we're ready to create our first simple scene in VR. So for example, we want to create a base, or maybe you can say a floor. And you can see in here, you can change the cube scale to make it looks like a floor. And you can change the scale on it, make it bigger, and you can set some light. For example, we will have some directional light on it. Ooh, it's a bit shiny. And as we press play, you can see our scene is now have some color on it. And right now it's only blue and white. Of course, the blue is only for background and the white is our floor. And maybe we can create some other things, and maybe this directional light is too strong. You can reduce the intensity on it. And if you want to see something like this, you can change it to skybox. So you can see we have some proper sky right now. So if you don't like the blue background, you can just like change the clear flex from solid color to skybox. And maybe you want to have some more hike to your player, you can change it, like bring it a little bit up, and you can press play again. And you can see this is your first VR scene. Now, cube is boring, right? But for the first time, we want something like this, and is enough. So if we want to build it to our application of Android, we can press a build settings, and we can add open scenes to this, and we can remove from hello world. Okay, and we can stop, we can close, or we can build and run. And save, and yes. Okay. Meanwhile, we wait for the Unity to compile our apps. I will check some chat box. Why we not use terrain? Okay, we have some question from Trix, from Man 2, Kudus. Why we not use terrain? Okay, actually in Unity we have some features called terrain. Terrain is like, you can, as the name suggests, of course, terrain is just like a terrain, just like a base to create some more complex background, to create more complex base for your application. And Tricks from Mantukudus said why we not use terrain. So for your Unity project, for your VR project, you can freely create your scene with any skills that you have. And for now, we talk about how to create a simple base using the plane, using the cube. But if we want to create this base using a terrain, we of course can use it. Like we can have some terrain, we have some 3D objects, and we have any thing that we want to within our Unity. But before we talk about terrain, if you guys already know about terrain, terrain you can say terrain is more heavy than the cube for VR, as we want to create or we want to develop our games or our VR application to the mobile phone, and the mobile phone specification is really broad, that maybe for example we have some smartphone, high-end smartphone, and maybe it can handle well the terrain or complex, but if the user is using the low-end smartphone, there is no guarantee that your user is will having some lag or frame rate down because of the complexity of your scenes. So that is the reason that you need to consider what kind of base or what kind of environment that you need to develop for your user. So it's not that you are forbidden to using the terrain, but you need to specify what user or what kind of target user that you want to target at. So it's just like that, tricks. And I want to type in to him and everybody else why we not use terrain. Of course, we can use terrain, but for this course, we will start from we will proceed as we level as we proceed the training session. And the reason that for us to not to use a terrain right now, because I want to talk about asset store in Unity. So before I forgot about the asset store in Unity, if you are just like this right now, seeing the scene is a little bland, or maybe it's just like a boring piece of terrain because we don't have any features on it compared to the demo. Mungkin maybe in demo we have some colorful stuff and something like that. Actually, if you are not a 3D developer or you are not a designer and you want to create a better scenes or a beautiful scenes within Unity, Unity have features, or we have stores called asset store. So if you just like your smartphone, if you want to install some application, of course when you purchase your first phone you don't have any application, right? And if you want to have, for example, Instagram or something like that, you need to install it from Play Store or App Store, right? And in Unity, if you don't have skills to maybe, for example, for drawing or creating a 3D object or scripting, even for scripting or making a code, Unity is provide us a store just like Play Store, just like an App Store. It is called Asset Store. You can see in here, you can see the Asset Store tab in Unity. You can see in window, if you're using the later or the older version of Unity, in window you can see a Asset Store window is on it. But if you are using the 2018, the menu is replaced or moved to General and Asset Store. And as you can see, Asset Store is just like a store, just like a Play Store that we can search or we can find a free or paid assets that we can use for our VR or game apps. So let's maximize this up. And for example, we want to find some maybe assets or 3D asset for our VR apps. So we can just type in here to search asset. For example, I want to have some trees. For example, you can see you can just type in tree and search. And there is a lot of the asset on Asset Store we can download. And you can see some of them is not free. It's like $16, $15, and even $1 or $2. And if you want to find some assets that free, you can set the price in it to make it free, 0 to 0, and apply it. And you can see there is a lot of assets actually that is free for us to use. For example, like maybe this one, you can see this is a simple tree for our VR apps. And you can see this one is like a pine tree, I think. Yeah. And you can download it immediately, directly from Asset Store to Unity. You can just press download. And actually, Unity, if you don't already sign in your Unity, you need to sign into your Unity ID. If you don't have, or you want to sign in with your social media account, you can just press it. And if you have some account or have some email or have account on it, if you have already account, your Unity ID account, you can type in your ID in here. So let me type in my ID. Oh, they want my verification. 540424. And after we log in, we can just press download it again. Huh? I already signed in. Okay, let's just type it once again. I think we have some technical difficulties on this site right now. It seems I cannot log in with my account. Let's just save our scene first, and we can reopen the Unity. It's actually just maybe a simple error that we encounter. This is. Let's open our Unity again. And as you can see, I already signed in. My name is on it. Let's open our folder, Google PRMs. This from Tricks. Thanks for the answer. It's okay. Thank you. You're welcome. And if you guys have any question again regarding our current session, you can feel free to type in on the chat box. Okay, it seems that I already signed in. We can come back again to Asset Store. And you can maximize it, and we can search again for the tree that we left behind, and we can press the price to free. And where is our tree? This one. Oh yeah, this one. This one, and we can just like download it. It's quite simple, right? It's just download it and it's already done. And we can just press import. And as you can see, it's just like a Google VR plugins, just like our first or our earlier session. We import some package, and as we can see, the package folder is low poly trees. And if we press the import button, you can see now in projects assets, you can see Google VR, low poly, and there is a low poly trees on it. And when we open the low poly trees, we have a trees, as you can see in here. This is a tree, or the tree that we downloaded over. So we can go back to our scene, and we can drag and drop our trees. Where's my little trees? And you can see this is our trees, and you can of course resize it to your liking. For example, I want to have some big trees on it, and the color is, I think it is missing. As you can see, the material on it is a tree material. You can color the trees to see if there is a tree, and you can drag and drop tree materials to the trees itself. Trees. It's something like this. Only the color of green is on it. So if you have some trees, and I want not only one trees in our VR, maybe I want to have a lot of trees, you can easily just right click on your trace and duplicate your trace. And as you can see, we have another trace named trace1, and we can move the trace like this. And we have two trees. And for the convenience, we have hotkeys to do right click and duplicate, which is a Control V. If we press Control V, we duplicate our object, and as we can press it again and again, you can have a lot of trees. And if I press play, you can see we have some trees in our VR environment. And maybe if you have some, and if trees is not your liking, you can have some other assets. And asset store right now is your friend. If you want maybe for animals, you can search the animal. And maybe you can maximize things out and change the price to free. Of course, we love free assets, right? And you can see there is a lot of animal in it. So, for example, this one is animal packs of low poly. This one have some really good looking animals. Of course, it is a tuned animals, so it looks not that real, but it is okay for now. You can download it and import it again, and you can see just like our trees and Google VR, we have animal folder, and we can press import on it. So as Unity importing, if it's finished, we can just come back again to our scene, and we can see in our project asset, you can see we have animals folder right now. So the animal folders, we can open this up, and you can see there is some of the animal names on it. So there is a bear, there is a boar, there is a deer, fox, hare, I don't know what this hare is, but it is an animal, of course, squirrel, and wolves. And you can see, oh, this one is animal, but this animal is a little bit cute. If you see a hare on, it's like a, how can I say, I don't know what is this, but you can see this one is like a deer. I love deers, so let's put some deers in our scene. Let's drag and drop it. Oh, it is big. So if you see the scenes is really big, the deer is really big, the trees is lost, you can just resize it to your liking. So I want my deer to be not that big. So if you rotate it like this, example, and maybe I want to have some beer in my scene, and of course this beer is big as well. We can just size it, and yeah. And if we press the play button again, you can see there is a deer now in our scene, and we have a beer now in our scene as well. And of course, if you want to maybe move it around, so you maybe have some scene composition around here. If you want to place here and that, you can easily change from scene to game view like this. And once again, you can see or find any other assets that you can use for your projects within in asset store. If you have some credit cards, or if you want to spend some money, of course you can have some better scene or better made assets just like this. But if you want to stick a free or you are free man just like me, you can just explore this asset store and maybe find some interesting assets on the asset store just like this. You can see, of course, there is a lot of place, a lot of asset on it, just like in this. We have a tiger, just like that. We have a lot of things, other things that you can see. Even we have a humpback whales, and it is free. And you can see there is a lot of things like low poly tree season. Maybe we can just like install it, for example, right now. Just for fun, we want to install. We want to download a low poly tree season as well, and import it. Just like that. It's really simple, and the step is the same for every assets that you want to include on your project. And using the asset stores, of course, if you want to have some human, for example, you can just type in human in asset store, and you might be find some human that interest you, some models of human that interest to you. Just like that. Let's get back to the scene, and you can see low poly trees like now have some this one, and you can see we have some bushes, plants, stone, trees, and wood like that. You can see we have some really pretty assets right now in here. And wow, and the asset is a lot, for example. And you can see we have some plants, we have a flower, we have a grass, we have stone, we have trees, and of course we have wood for some random purpose. And just like this. And if you want to change your cube, for example, you want to have some more detail, just like this. I have some ground, and you can see we have a ground. Just like that, you can just place your scene like this, and you can see we have some action, and we have some material, we have some sand. What is sand? Oh, you can see like this, and our scene more and more becomes more interesting. And maybe you want some grass, you can place it on it. Where's my grass? You can have some grass, for example. You can put your grass maybe in here. You can put your flower, for example. Which flower do you want to see? Maybe the red one. You have a red flower. And any other things as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things in it, and you can just play around, and this is really fun to playing around within the asset store and Unity. So yeah, you can just build your own project or your own scene, for example, just like this. So just like you can see, I have some fun times creating this scene, and as you can press play button, you can see our scene is more alive than ever. And of course, after you finish, you can just press build and run and deploy your games or VR application to your smartphone. Let's take a look if we have some other question I think it's not. Yeah. So if you have any other question for this session, you can ask for me later on as we wait the Unity for build the application or the APK files to our phone. So let's see the times right now. I think we almost have times up. Oh, it's almost 2 hours right now. So yeah, that's it for now for VR Google VR introduction and VR development, and we already have learn or cover the VR and Unity. We also already talked about Google VR, and we already developed some VR application from getting started and setting up Unity for VR, Google Play Store, Google VR, Google VR integration. We already done some installation for Java JDK and Android SDK, and we already have covered we already create some simple scene for VR, and we already built our VR apps to APK files. So that's it for now. So if you have some question, please feel free to type in the chat box. Thank you. We have some question from SMK Nurul Jadid Muhammad Arifandi Furaihan. He asked about how to connect Milia with Unity. Okay, first thing, you ask about how to connect Milia with Unity. So just before our session in Unity development, we already cover some VR introduction using Milia. Milia is a platform for VR creation tools that we can develop some VR scenes easily without any code at all. So Milia is just like Unity. So if you ask about how to connect Milia with Unity, for now there is no other ways to connect Milia with Unity, because it's for the explanation for the example, Milia and Unity is just like a motorcycle. It's just like a transportation. Milia is, for example, a car, and maybe a Unity is just like a bike. So it's just like a tools to help us to going from one point to another point, and then in this example, or in this case, it's Media is and Unity is just a tools for us to create a VR application or VR product or VR experience. So for now, how to connect Milia with Unity? Milia and Unity is a tool for creating. The advantages of Milia is that you can create a VR experience. Let's see. Okay, the question is how to connect Melia with Unity, and the answer is Melia and Unity is a tool for creating VR experience. So for now, there is no way to connect those two. And the advantages of Melia is that you can create a VR experience easily without code and without any setup, just like we did on today's lesson. But for Unity, the advantages is you have more control to create more content of VR and games, as Unity have much more features than Melia. So if you want to create much complex VR experience, you can create it within Unity. But if you have or if you want to create a simple experience, Melia is enough for you guys to use. Yeah, that's it for today. If you have any more questions, please feel free to type in on the chat box. And that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for listening and joining our session today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adit. And don't forget, guys, we already recorded this session, and if you want to access it, you can go to the creativecamp.gmail.org. And we hope to see you again at the Friday. So, see ya. Thank you, Mr. Adit.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye,
I wish you
guys.
have a great day here.
Thank you. Ya, capek sekali.